Not sure why it took this lady multiple times to be told, since she's in her 30s, so she should have, or it looked like she's in her 30s at least, so she should have understood, because she asked about opening a P.O. box so she could just pick up her mail, but she doesn't currently have a physical address, and they need 2 forms of ID. But I don't know if she's living in her car or van life in it, but she doesn't have an actual address. And I understood what the lady meant, and I wasn't even part of the conversation. And she was like, what if I approve? What if I go to one of my friend's house, show theirs? I'm like, no, it has to be, it's a legal thing. Like most things, you have to show your address for safety purposes. I don't know why it was so hard for her to understand. She's trying to find a way to go around it. The lady was like, these are your options. Put on the paper, but she also said, obviously, that's how I know. And then she told her, while she figured it out, she could go to the main post office, which is not that far away from when we were at. Driving is like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on traffic and lights and such. So you can have your mail, she used to have her mail sitting there for a month and then pick it up there. So yeah, I don't know why it was so hard for her to grasp the fact that she needs her ID, both her IDs, to have a physical address. So I guess unless I don't know, she didn't look homeless, but maybe she's temporarily homeless. Maybe she works, but is living out of her car, or she's van life in it. I just said car. But anywho, bizarre that she tried to find a loophole when it makes sense. They need, since the post office is a federal company, they need certain documentation, obviously. Not a big deal, obviously. She didn't look it up, I guess. I mean, she could have just lied and said whatever her ID, whatever her, she didn't have to mention, not that I'm condoning lying, but she could have just not mentioned she wasn't living somewhere, but then if there's somewhere she does get her mail sent to, she could use that address. Could always use the family members, but again, that she'd have to update her information on her IDs so that it matches the family members' information. Or she could just say, depending on where the family member lives, if there's none close, that doesn't really help. But if there are, you could just have it forwarded to their house and then pick it up here like twice a week, something like that. Pick it up on like Tuesday and Friday, or Wednesday and Saturday, something like that. Not that hard to figure out. But anywho, got out later than I expected, around 3:30. Felt sick again. So I just took a bunch of Pepto-Bismol and waited for it to do its charm. The second dose kind of helped. I waited too long. Didn't know I could take it every hour if I needed to. Unless I read it wrong. That could just be for the diarrhea. But anyways, since that upset stomach, I had taken some at like 12:30ish, right before I took the dog on a walk, and then a little after 3, sometime between 3 and 3:30. So shouldn't be a problem. Pretty sure everything I saw just was for diarrhea. Could be wrong though. Although I having a hard time reading. My head hurt. I was too lazy to turn on the light. So I just used the light coming in from the dining room, which wasn't very bright at that moment. But I feel a little better. Had a sale when I woke up. I was gonna take it when they woke up. Not when they woke up. Right when they opened. Because I still had to take my DMV renewal in, and this time they actually had everything I needed. So that was nice. They had the money order as well as stamps. That was nice. I was trying to get it done Friday or Saturday, but I didn't feel good. It's only going to Sacramento, which is like an hour away. Hour, depending on exactly where. Hour to 2 hours away, since the big place. But it's actually Sacramento, not like Citrus Heights or something. It's the city of Sacramento proper. So since it's actually Sacramento, probably closer, probably like an hour away, give or take. So I wasn't too worried about it, even though the mail sucks at the moment. Even though it sucks, mailing stuff at the moment shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. I hope I filled out the slip right. I at least took the customer parts. That was obvious. It's just they didn't leave much room for filling out stuff. And I wasn't expecting, since I've never done one before, I wasn't expecting the lines to be so small, so I accidentally went a little bit larger. I can, of course, write smaller, but it's iffy. Not sure what's better, my large or my small or my medium. It's better than it used to be, but I was also hunched over using the counter near the door. Luckily I brought, even though I had it on the front, I brought another easier to read, since my handwriting can be abysmal. I brought, when I first wrote it down for myself, before I wrote it on the envelope, I wrote it on a flat rate box. So I cut it out, I brought it with me, and it was wonderful because it was a lot larger print. That way, there wasn't any boo-boos. I wasn't sure. I brought it just in case they filled it out. Since it is easier to read, I was going to hand it to the person. But, no, I filled it out. Or maybe every time I've gone and an old person's done it, maybe they've just done it to be nice, to get it done quicker. Usually when I go, it's some elderly person getting one. Rarely anyone young. Seriously? Does it piss off Danny to swear? Everyone's over here cutting me off. I don't really know anything about riding bikes around here. Even though there is a large, I've mentioned it before, there is a large cycling community. Every type. BMX all the way up. Yet people are so annoying. Or at least in my direction. I won't say it to everyone, I'll say it to me. Which is annoying because I follow all the rules. I follow all the cycling rules. Unless I'm about to be at my destination and it's across the street. That's usually the only time. If it's easier to just go against traffic for a second, usually no longer than a block. Don't want to be too much of a hypocrite. Sometimes it's just easier to go across the street and then arrive instead of waiting at a stop sign or a stoplight and just go a few feet in the wrong direction. I don't see the harm if it's very quick. A few seconds to a minute or so, maybe 3 minutes, very rarely. Usually if it's longer than 2 minutes, I've overshot it. Or no, I did it premature and I wasn't quite there. And it's useless to go back across. And I might as well stay committed to my tomfoolery. Hoping when I get home, my mom is home, because I couldn't find my keys. I forgot where I put them after I took the dog on a walk. So, yeah. And she's a little faster than my dad. Since he's been feeling kind of meh himself today, figured I'd. And I also forgot my phone. That was on accident, because I didn't think about it. I intentionally left it, but then once I was at the post office, I was like, really? I should have brought it with me. It would have been helpful. But there's a few spots that have clocks around here, so it's not a big deal compared to Contrary. Apparently my straps are too loose. I gotta tighten them up again. Guess I lost a little weight or something. Something like that. In a certain area. My bosom, perhaps? I hate dealing with those kind of people when they come out of a parking space awkwardly and I can't tell if they're gonna pay attention to oncoming traffic. Luckily that guy did, but 50-50. Not always gonna happen here, at least. So even though I've had the Diamondback mountain bike, well, both of them, but of course I say it turns off on me and it cuts out. All right, like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to make this a one-parter, but it might be 2 videos instead, since the last clip was 23 minutes, I think. Looking at it upside down, so I'm not sure. All right, toodaloo. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment. The BMX, I was riding it as a fixed gear, but even though I've had the mountain bike since September, probably because I haven't ridden it daily, it's gone on and off. So weird to ride a freewheel. Well, I don't know, it's because I have a freewheel. It's weird to not ride a fixed gear because I'm so used to it now. It's all I've been riding since, I don't know, a while now. 5-6 years, something like that. I used to go in between them, but not really. I kind of was when I got my Mongoose in 2019. Sometimes, but then I started riding it 2 months later as a fixed gear because I had a problem with the back wheel, and for whatever reason my rear, both of my 23C, 25C wheels fit on it. I just had to hammer in the, what's it called? The rear. Hello. Going a little fast, buddy. I actually got it so it can fit 35C, I think. Somewhere between 32 and 35. Because I hammered in the rear brake mount. So it gave a few inches more. So I was riding that with 700C wheels before it broke. That was pointless. should have just not done that. The light going across, going green for this way, went too quick, so by the time I turned around, it was red. And it made the traffic this way go again. Brilliant stuff. Alright. Crap. I want to hop on the sidewalk across the street. And do some cyclocross real quick. After I find it low enough. This looks normal. Cyclocross time. Not really. Gravel, not really. This goes right to the same place I want it to go, so it's not a big deal. Haven't ridden here in a while. Not bad on so far. For a road bike. Only ridden on a single speed fix, I think. Only done it a few times. Not bad, not bad. Barely any traffic goes through here for the most part. But it's helpful. The odd chance I do it. Alright. Should I go across? Nah. I was going to say I think so, but I think not. I'll go that way. See what's up with El Pollo Loco. If it's open yet. Dang it! All the traffic. This is why I don't go this way. You gotta be precise. The traffic coming towards me was gone to the right. So it's all coming towards me. Great content, I'm sure. I just need to brake in the... Okay, finally. The light takes so long. I forgot about that. Brake in the traffic on the left. Dag nabbit. That's how, let's go this way. I'm already sticking. I've been riding bikes. I've been riding road bikes for 20 years. Since I was 14, I think. 19 or 20. Started somewhere between 14 and 15. I'll be honest, I don't remember. It was the first year we moved here, which when I turned 14, or obviously the year later. El Pollo Loco! Yeah, sisters! Oh my Jesus. Yo soy hombre. Oh my. I do know a little Spanish. I'm a little rusty. I know a very weird array of Spanish. Maybe not your most typical. I understand more than I speak for whatever bizarre reason. Thought I was going to look for. I don't know how to have a actual conversation. That's the problem. I know all words, just don't know how to straighten them together to make a cohesive sentence and conversation. so it's a lot of weird talk. It helped though, my own job. Mostly because I could never get the gist of Portuguese. To at least try to talk in Spanish or Spanglish, depending on the person I talked to and where we were in each language that wasn't our first. I tried. Got told a few naughty words in Portuguese. That didn't help. It was obvious. Well, the dude told me right after, but for whatever reason, you know, in his 20s, he got super giggly about it. So as soon as he started giggling, I was like, oh my, should I even say this? So giggly. It's not the funniest thing ever. And then the other dude that grew up here was also Brazilian. He was fluent in English, Portuguese, and I think he's fluent in Spanish too. Can't remember, pretty sure. He knows more than me at least. But since he went to Berkeley High, you know, I think he learned somewhat along the line. But yeah, he was like, oh Lord. He was like, it's not even that funny. I need to put another bell on this, but the track doesn't work. Ding, ding, ding. I had a feeling it would scare him if I didn't make a noise. I didn't think the ding, ding, ding would scare him. I just waited until I was closer, since he seemed preoccupied with his phone or tablet, and my voice was always carried, even with the sound barrier for the RV part. Only that part I was going this way. I'll play dance moves to get away from the class. Guys, some unfortunate spots about the homeless encampments at the end. I'm going to one that's by the entrance I took. It's going to be on glass. And I like to go this way because I like the scenery, but if I go towards Napa or into Napa or towards American Canyon or into American Canyon or anywhere on this side of Vallejo, it's a nice quick route since there's any cars. Well, there shouldn't be any cars. Sometimes there is. This is a fun little way to go too. Add to the route. So, fun little way to add to the ride. Get a few miles in, even if you just do it one way. Add a few miles. I usually try to do it both ways, but today it was just a one-way excursion, which is fine. Got a little gym set up. Doing it right. Up. I guess when we call it the gym, probably just a little play area for the kids. Much better. Not a hard, not a difficult overpass. Just wasn't in a good climbing gear. Guess it doesn't really matter since I usually go up it on a single speed or a fixed gear. I'm stuck with whatever ratio I'm running at that moment. It's nice to have gears though on a simple incline such as that. Sometimes I don't want to do it. I get lazy. Unless, well, if I'm coming out of the trail I just took, I get lazy sometimes because abrupt stop at the little intersection. But if I'm coming from the street, the other way I didn't go, to the left, I just try to get a good rally going. So once I hit the middle of the incline, I'll still have a decent amount of speed. But sometimes it gets messed up depending on the traffic in between the light and then the entrance for the trail. There's a couple bars right there. It's on and a liquor store. So sometimes I end up going slower and trying to avoid the vehicles or pedestrians or both. I'm gonna stop recording.